Nina is from Kosovo, just 9 years old. She has an IQ of 135. To give you an idea, the average IQ is somewhere between 85 and 110. Now, only around 1% of the population have an IQ of 135 or over. Other people, I did a bit of research, who have a similar IQ to Nina include Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, and Isaac Newton. So she's in good company when it comes to intelligence. She also beats me. Nina, you beat me. I did an IQ test when I was 16. I was 132. So I bow down in your presence today. Nina also qualifies for Mensa, an international society of the 150,000 most intelligent people in the world. Nina has come all the way from Kosovo today to spend time with me and to talk to me about all the things that she loves. And I'm really happy about this. Nina, welcome to my show.
Welcome.
Did you have a good journey to Albania today?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I had a good journey.
Now, I have so many things I want to ask you. And you've brought some things to show me as well, which I'm quite excited about. So can you tell me about a topic or a subject or something you're really passionate about in your life?
Maths and arts.
Mm-hmm.
I like maths because I like to solve problems, and I like arts because I can show my feelings in the pictures, and I only use my imaginary world. None of them are from I never got based on any photo, but I just did it on my own imaginary.
Everything is from in your mind. It's really interesting because normally they say people have, they're either very good at art and, creative subjects, maybe writing, art, drama, music, or they're very good at things like maths and science and subjects like this. But you are very good at all of them. Because I've seen your pictures here. Would you show me your pictures? You brought a selection of them.
Starting with this one, this is my favorite one. One of the top of my favorite ones.
Mm-hmm.
It is a house. It's a little country that I did in my own imaginary. And I did, it took me actually 5 hours to do it.
Wow.
Because of these details.
Mm-hmm.
I changed it like 3 or 4 times because it just didn't match with the other colors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it took me a long time.
I love this. I love the striped colours in the background. It's really lovely. I'd like to go to this place. What's next?
These are some fishes.
Mm-hmm.
And I only drew this because I love fish. And I just use my imaginary like I did in that one.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually based on my sister because she also loves fish, and she was like, "Why don't you try drawing fish?" And I was like, "That's a good idea." And I did one on I have a notebook where I do my art and then just do it with colors. And I did this one, and I really liked it.
I like it as well. What's next?
This is my owl.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really love fish and owls.
Mm-hmm.
So all of my pictures are based on owls, fish, and animals.
Mm-hmm.
So this actually took me 5 or 6 hours.
Wow.
Because of these details.
Yes.
I needed to use crayons, watercolors, pastel colors, and that's why it took me 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, it's not actually the last one. This is
beautiful.
Another owl. As I said, it's the favorite animal of me. And I did this because when I was at the zoo, I was at night and I saw an owl. It was just like this, but when I did, it wasn't orange. It was actually brown. But when I did it, I didn't like the color, and I changed it 6 times or 7. So when I did the orange one, I was like, this fits perfectly.
Yes, with the purple at the background, it looks really cool.
This
What
is
else?
a horse.
Yeah, this is really nice. You like horses?
Yeah,
Yes. Which do you prefer though, a horse or an owl?
both of them.
You couldn't choose.
Yeah. I get really excited when I go horse riding. That's a reason why I did this. And this is a duck, and I bring it to life,
Yes.
just like a boss or something, and it's doing a pose, and I really liked it.
So you enjoy maths, which is obviously more of an academic subject, and you love art, which is also a profession as well. But what other activities do you do in your spare time?
Athletics. I was at swimming, but now I'm not because of the weather. It's cold, and I went to tennis. I actually am going to football,
Ah, great.
and yeah, these.
But I heard you play music as well.
Yeah, I played music. Um, I played the guitar a little bit and the piano.
And how often do you practice? How much do you practice?
2 times at a week. Yeah.
But do you have lessons twice a week, or you practice at home
No,
every
I
day?
have lessons twice a week at Misbah and Friends. It's Misbah and Friends is a music school, and sometimes I practice on my own, even if I actually don't have a piano, but I have a really big iPad where I install pianos and play it on them.
Great. I started playing the violin when I was 4.5, and I studied the violin until I was 16. And I played the piano as well. I had piano lessons, but I had, especially the violin, I had to practice like 2 hours, 3 hours a day sometimes. And my mum would tell me, Alice, you have to practice. And I'm there screeching with my violin, practice makes perfect. Now, I want to ask you, we talked about this a bit when we chatted on the phone before. Being as smart as you are is a wonderful thing. And, you have all these beautiful interests in art, in music, in reading, in academic subjects, but it can be challenging sometimes. It can be a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
We talked about this a bit. And if you can share with me, what for you is one of the most, not difficult, but challenging things about being as smart as you are?
Well, starting off, I don't know what to talk about because lots of my friends talk about films and things while I don't like that. And I don't watch the films that they do. I watch Young Sheldon, and these films that are like me, a bit like me, and kinda I don't have like a friend right now that knows what to talk about with me, but like I I get through it because I'm used to that. So like I do not have worries about that.
Yes, it's difficult. I used to have the same problem. I want to talk about classical music or Jane Eyre or something, and my friends were not interested in the same things. They were.
Yeah, my friends always talk about makeup. Well,
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
like makeup, but I also like literature. It was difficult. And at school, is it difficult as well? Because obviously I imagine in school, you know the answers to all the questions.
Yeah.
And I bet the teachers love you as well. Does that bring problems as well?
No.
I mean, with people in the class, do they get jealous of you or
They get jealous, but I don't care because
no, you
they're
shouldn't.
just mad at themselves because they don't know. And yeah.
Exactly. They're not mad at you. They don't dislike you. They don't have a problem with you. They're just jealous. They're frustrated. So don't ever let it worry you. People should be lucky to know you, Nina, and to be your friend. Now, I wanted to ask as well, what people must, when they hear that you are this intelligent, you have this high IQ and thing, they must be curious. Do they ever ask you funny questions, or do they say, can you tell me the answer to this 50 times 45, or do they ever try and test you or ask you silly questions?
No, actually they don't because they believe in me. And
Of course.
my aunt actually, when she heard about it, she was very impressed, and she started asking me questions that she didn't even know. So, so she was actually impressed.
So if who needs Google when you have Nina around? We can ask you the answers to the questions. I wanted to ask you as well, in school, do you get bored in the lessons? Like, because you know a lot of it already. Does it ever get frustrating? How do you manage that situation in school if your teacher's teaching you, but you already know the answers or that information?
Well, the language that I actually get bored the most is English because I almost know everything because in a course where I was with teenagers with 19, 18 years old. And like we talk about, in my school, we talk about things that you have, and these I get bored sometimes, but then my teacher sometimes she does some games that are difficult, like a quiz, and then it doesn't get bored. But when it actually gets bored, I just listen and I get through it because I'm used to it, like I said, with my friends.
And I know your father's here, but pretend he's not here. What about with your parents? Because, I have a daughter. She's 5 and she's very smart. And sometimes she asks me things I don't know the answers to. I have to look them up. How do they help you, to stay interested, to pursue your dreams and your ambitions and your hobbies?
Well, I let me give you an example. I want since I was little, I wanted to be an astronaut, and I asked some people about it, and they were like, don't ever try to do that. It's hard. And my dad was like, don't listen to them. You're smarter than you think, so you can reach ev- whatever you want. And my mom was also like that. And I am dreaming to be an astronaut.
Good. So you want to be an astronaut
Yeah.
still? Because when we spoke a few days ago, you said, I used to want to be one, but then maybe, it's not the thing for me. So you've changed your mind again now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because an astronaut, I think, you have to be very smart to be an astronaut, and you are, so you're fine. But I think what a lot of people don't realize about being an astronaut is it's very physically intense as well. The physical training you have to go through, actually if you're going into space, the impact this has on your body is quite challenging as well. But you did tell me something else when we spoke before that you wanted to be. You had some other ambitions.
I also want to be a doctor. Um, the dream was when I actually turned 6 because my my cousin actually was a doctor, and she was like, it's a very good job. And I asked her questions, and she all replied to them very good. And I was like, why don't I change my mind and be a doctor? But then I also realized I have a lot of time to think about it.
You do.
So I have two jobs in the future that I want to be an astronaut and a doctor.
But you told me you wanted to be a painter as well.
Yeah, a
But
painter.
we can do this part-time, on the side. No, it's true. When I was younger than you, I wanted to be a writer. I used to write poetry and stories. And I told my mum when I was about 5.5, something like around this age, that I wanted her to publish this book for me that I'd written of poems. And she was like, yes, okay, dear. And I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be on TV. And then, I ended up doing law, which I wasn't really interested in at all, And I had jobs that I didn't like. And now, at the age of 38, because I'm old, I've done all the things. I'm doing exactly all the things I wanted to do when I was 5 years old that were my dreams. But to get there, I made a lot of diversions along the way and tried other jobs. So yeah, you have a lifetime, and it's never too old to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do. I think the key, and what I tell my daughter as well, is try everything. If you want to do football, let's go to football. If you want to paint pictures, let's paint pictures. If you want to learn Japanese, let's learn Japanese, you know? Try everything, and then you find the things that you want to do. How many languages do you speak, Nina?
I speak Albanian, English, a bit Italian, a bit French, and German.
Which do you find is the hardest out of there?
French.
French.
Yeah.
Really? Why French?
Because some of the words are same, and sometimes I misunderstand them and say the incorrect word. So that's why it's difficult.
I find when French people speak as well, the sentence can sound like one long word, that all the words sort of mix into one, you know, and it can be quite confusing to understand what they're saying. But German is very difficult, I find. German. But yeah, for me, Albanian is the hardest. All the tenses, for me, I get so confused. My teachers, he tells me, you know, this, and this. And then he's like, do you understand? And I'm like, no. So I've learned better just from listening and trying. But you're Albanian, so it's not so difficult for you, I think. Nina, I have a question for you about your future. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. If you could invent something or solve a problem that there is in the world today, what would it be if you had the power to do this?
Since I love animals, I would free all the animals.
Yes.
The birds, especially because they're on cage and they are not free. So that will be the. I also have the wish that I could free all the animals that are in cage, and that is.
Now, we've talked about this as well before, haven't we, about animals? You'd love a pet, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What kind of pet would you like?
Like cats and dogs.
Yeah. What is there any particular one you prefer over the other, or?
Well, I can choose between them.
It's difficult. I have cats and dogs. I showed you my dogs. I have rescue ones, and you know, I think having a pet is a very good education as well. I'm saying this, so I hope your parents get you a pet. But it's true. It's a very good education. Like my daughter's 5 and we have 2 dogs and a cat, and she's learned how to brush them, how to take care of them, when she has to feed them, why she's feeding them, that they need water, that they have to go for walks. It teaches some responsibility, you know, as well. But yeah, it's sad, especially in Kosovo, I think, and Albania, there's a lot of stray animals, dogs with no homes, and I see them and I just think, I want to take you all home, you know. So your dream, if you could, would be to set them all free and have some place where they can all live happily together, and you could go and play with them as well. Is there anything else, any other ambitions you have? You've talked about being a doctor, being an astronaut and painting, but is there anything else you would like to sort of achieve in your life?
Being a gymnast.
A what, sorry?
Athletic.
Ah, you do gymnastics.
Yeah.
What kind of, like, somersaults and things like that, or?
I usually do some things that are with jumping, and I'm really good at jumping, but I'm not really good on the procedure that goes. So sometimes I change my mind, but sometimes I get it back. So
Good, keep at it. And what about reading? Do you like to read?
yeah.
Yeah. What are your favorite books?
My favorite book is Alchemiste.
By Paulo Coelho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Huaye. And Enciclopedia Imaginora.
What was the last one?
Enciclopedia Imaginora.
The Imaginary Encyclopedia of Imagination.
Yeah.
Who is that by?
It's by Bayram Kosume, my dad's friend.
Ah, I haven't heard this one, that's why. And what do you like about The Alchemist? Because, I mean, this is one of the most famous books in the world.
Well, it talks about a boy who wants to be big, who wants to achieve big dreams, and he meets a girl, and she says, "I'm gonna tell you what is gonna happen in the future," and this is what goes on.
And what do you like about it?
Well, I like the idea that he doesn't give up, and that gave me the inspiration of not giving up.
Good, it's very important.
And I also like Ihuaye because I liked the boy who actually didn't also give up, and yeah, he did a big mistake, and then he died by himself. He didn't think before the mistake, and yeah.
I want to ask you another question as well as we come to the end of the interview. You have a sister,
Yeah.
a younger sister. What's her name?
Reina,
That's a beautiful name. And how old is she?
6.
And what does she think of? Like, is she involved in your activities and things as well? Do you do things together? Is she sort of interested in books and music and languages like you?
She isn't interested in learning, but she's interested in dancing and doing using her body.
Yeah.
She is very good in athletics. She is actually better than me. And she likes also swimming, and yeah.
And what does she think of your intelligence and everything? Does she support you? Does she
Well,
cheer
she
you on?
supports me, and when I go in interviews, she was like, "Why don't I get to go there?" And I'd be like, "You're gonna go to interviews when you get older," and she was like, "Okay."
Okay, well, you can tell her that when she's a bit older, she can come back and talk about her athletics. Do you think she'd be happy with that?
Yeah, she would be very happy.
That's a promise. We'll do it. We'll do it. Nina, you're amazing. And never give up, like you said, but also don't listen to anybody who has anything negative to say. They're just jealous. It's never about you. It's never personal. But also keep challenging yourself as well. And it's okay to try something and to not like it as well. I've tried many things in my life. I don't like it. You'll find exactly, life will put you in the right lane, so to speak, on the right road, and you'll end up doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
That's all for this week. You can catch Inside Albania every Saturday at 4 o'clock on Euronews Albania, on our YouTube channel, Euronews Albania, and across all major podcasting platforms. Until next week, Mira Pafshim.